Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
It is Friday, or as my script says, Thursday, but it is Friday. And all of our guests today are brought to you by the Vancouver Giants. Giants are at the LEC on Saturday night, and to face Wenatchee, puck drop is at 7 p.m. Visit vancouvergiants.com/tickets for ticket details. All right, BCHL. Chris Hebb is going to join us, CEO of the BCHL. BCHL, the story goes back a bit. I've been trying to get Chris on the show for a week or so, is welcoming 5 teams from the Alberta Junior Hockey League, all official members of the BCHL last time I checked. Now we find out CHL players, i.e. some of them anyway from the Western Hockey League, are reportedly going to be able to play NCAA hockey, which has been a draw for BCHL recruitment. Let's get a handle on all this story. CEO of the BCHL, Chris Hebb. Chris, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
Pretty good, Donnie. Rick, how you doing?
Good. Hey, Chris, first of all, let's go back a bit. How does the move to take in 5 Alberta Junior Hockey League teams make sense for your league?
So we think that going forward, hockey's changing, Don. I guess we're a part of that change. But at the end of the day, the Alberta teams that came to us and believed in our model, they think that it's going to change them for sure, because they're going to be in, the top college tracking league in Canada now. And we also think that being in these 5 communities that are well respected, well established, and well run is going to be good for our league.
Chris, update me here. Have those teams started competing in your league, and what will travel look like for those teams and your teams?
Well, because we had to go into a hurry-up offense because the Alberta Junior Hockey League, when they heard, and we wanted to make the announcement early and be transparent, when they heard these teams are coming to the BCHL, canceled their kids' games. So at that point, we moved very quickly to say, how do we get these guys integrated this year so that we don't have 125 players sitting on the sidelines?
Right.
I've never understood why that's a good decision to put kids off the ice. But anyway, we moved quickly, and what's going to happen is the 5 Alberta teams are going to play a regular season against each other, and they're excited about that. They're 5 very competitive teams, and most of the games they've had so far have been 1-goal games. And then what we're going to do is a playoff with all 5 teams involved in the playoff in Alberta, and then the champion will come and play our champion. And it's an exhibition. we're not playing for the Doyle Cup or anything like that, but we just think our fans are going to want to see this.
And the travel, Chris, this year and next, and moving ahead in the future, what's that going to look like for you, the clubs in your league?
Well, we already make sure that we have conferences that make sense for travel, Don. So the Alberta teams will, we haven't finalized anything and we don't have our alignment announced, but the Alberta teams will be playing a lot with our Eastern teams. Cranbrook obviously is a bridge to the Alberta teams, and we'll make sure that the travel is kept to something sensible and not costing the players, safety issues.
Chris, you added the 5 teams. Talk about in the future, are you looking at more expansion, whether it be anywhere?
Not at this time, Rick. I would say this, that, the fact that we've done this has created a lot of interest because, we've been kind of the first to take a dip in independent hockey, and we think that there's more that will happen across the country. So I expect that there's going to be a lot of demand for a BCHL team, but we want to digest what we've done so far, and we'll go slow and make sure that we're doing things properly.
Chris, a story broke a couple of weeks ago that the NCAA might open up scholarship opportunities to Western Hockey League players. How will that affect your league?
Well, we were aware of this, and these rumors are, from our perspective, they're rumors until confirmed. But we kind of expect it's going to happen, Rick. At the end of the day, that's going to mean more college tracking players, and the BCHL has established itself, and especially with our expansion into Alberta, as a league that is going to continue to be attractive to college tracking players. And so we don't expect that our situation is going to change very much. If we'd have stayed in Hockey Canada, we would have been in trouble because then we wouldn't have been able to recruit freely across North America and even into Europe. So we think we're going to be fine no matter what the result of that situation turns out to be.
I know we've had we've had you on the show before. Sorry, Rick, I know you're going to ask a question. I apologize for that. But is part of the concern that a lot of players like Macklin Celebrini were going to the USHL?
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I think that the CHL has to have arrived at the conclusion that college hockey isn't going away. And but this is really being driven by the NCAA, Don. I think not a lot of people understand this. This is an NCAA rule.
Yeah.
What they've said is that CHL players, once they sign their contract, are not eligible for the NCAA. So the change isn't coming from the CHL side. It'll come from the NCAA side, and then the CHL will decide how they react.
How is year one being without Hockey Canada? You had to get the whole new referees, the whole new yards. How has it been, Chris, year one?
You know, Rick, you know what they say, the rumors of our demise were greatly exaggerated. Our league has not missed a beat. We were able to get insurance quite easily. It's insurance that is equal or better to what we were having under Hockey Canada. We're now able to compete for 16 and 17-year-olds outside of BC, which, you know, was an important thing to us. We think Canadian kids, no matter what your age, should be able to have a good experience in junior hockey and college tracking in the BCHL, where it's the best there is. So we felt that we were going to be okay, but the numbers don't lie. I mean, our record for college commitments was 190, and we passed that well before Christmas, right after our showcase in the Seattle Kraken's practice facility. And at the showcase, we had 61 of 64 NCAA programs represented and 171 scouts in the building. So that's the most we've ever had. I think that all that's happened is people have realized that the BCHL is fine, thank you.
You kind of did this there, but when's the last time you talked extensively about what's going on the ice in the BCHL?
You know, it's funny, Don, that's kind of out of my realm. You know, what we decided to do a year ago when I decided to stay on for another 3 years is have me concentrate on the future of the league. And that's what I'm doing. And we have a brilliant young commissioner in Steve Cocker who handles the hockey side of things better than anybody I've ever. Let's face it, Don, he's run the league way better than I could. So that's been kind of a real benefit to all the future stuff we're doing. I can concentrate on. Steve's got a big part in that too. But we also have taken our league itself to another level through having Steve Cocker in the commissioner's chair.
Surrey and Penticton on top of their respective divisions in the BCHL. Chris, thanks so much for doing this. We'll get you back on soon.
Okay, boys. Take care.